We're ready to rock here on Hacker TikTok Community, Creativity, and Controversy. So with that, we have a moderator over there on the table, and I'll let y'all take it away. Please come around, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for getting us started. My name is Kylie Robison. I'm a reporter at Business Insider. I'll be the moderator today. Today, our panelists are going to be Kyle Tobener, Serena, aka shenetworks, she's on Zoom, and MakeItHackin, Andrew. Today we're going to be talking about TikTok and our security professionals and their content that they make on there. TikTok is best known for being a dancing app, as you know, animal videos, all that, but they have decided to make security content on there and quite successfully. So we're going to get into that. Without further ado, some introductions. We'll start with Kyle.
Different ways that hackers
start with Serena.
Network. Let's talk about DHCP. DHCP is a protocol that allows your computer to dynamically receive an IP address without you having to manually enter any information. It does this by broadcasting requests out to a DHCP server, and the DHCP server will grab an IP address out of its pool and assign it to you. An attacker can continuously ask for IP addresses until there's no more addresses left in the pool to give out. And this is going to cause a problem because now real people who need addresses aren't able to get any, and this is going to cause a denial of service. This specific attack is called DHCP starvation. The next attack is DHCP spoofing, and when your computer is broadcasting out and asking for an IP address, everybody on the network can see it. So this means anybody can respond to it. The attacker can sit there and say, hey, I'm the DHCP server, here's an IP address, and you should send all of your traffic through me. I'm the gateway. And this is a type of man-in-the-middle attack.
Serena, introductions.
Hi. Should I talk now? Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. Hi, so my name is Serena. I am currently a tester at Black Hills Information Security, but previously to that, I was a network engineer at Cisco. I worked in TAC for Cisco UCS, and I was a data center technical lead for customer success. And yeah, I make videos on TikTok about networking and cybersecurity.
Thank you, Serena.
Yeah.
All right, who do we have next? Right, MakeItHackin.
What's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know?
I studied physics in college, and one day we learned about Faraday cages, which are metal structures that block radio frequency signals. And I thought, don't stores put RFID tags on things that are expensive? And if you walk through the door, the alarm goes off? Well, all you gotta do is use a Faraday cage, like a piece of aluminum foil. Wrap the foil around the tag, and now the alarm doesn't go off.
That's educational purposes only, folks, okay? I'm Andrew, MakeItHackin. I was a theater major, and I also studied physics too. Army veteran, I'm a nerd, I drive a Star Wars car, and I love electronics, reverse engineering, and I have a cat.
Thank you, Andrew.
What's a piece of information that you learned?
Last but not least.
Tell me you're a hacker without telling me you're a hacker.
I want to read this New York Times article, but I don't want to pay for an account. So I go to the URL bar, add a period after .com, and I'm in.
Educational purposes only.
Hi, I'm Kyle Tobener. I am a head of security at a software startup. I spent a long time at Salesforce on their security team, and I try to make educational security content on TikTok.
Thank you, Kyle.
Tell me you're...
Serena's up.
Okay, so next we're going to get into creativity. So I don't think I would have ever expected security informational videos to be going viral on TikTok, especially Kyle's. I remember watching that. Or the show me you're a hacker without telling me you're a hacker. Would have never expected that, but they blew up. They're quite viral. They've been quite creative, and I wanted to know precisely why TikTok, where there's dancing videos and not necessarily the best place for enterprise security content. Why TikTok?
So the reason I got started on TikTok was during the pandemic, and one of my friends got me into it. He was on it back then. I think it was more of a dancing app, or at least starting to change a little bit. And he convinced me to start creating some videos. And it didn't start off as security content. I was just kind of posting random stuff. Had a Chick-fil-A video go viral. But after that, I kind of saw the growth, and then eventually made a new account to do the security content. So I like it just because it's very easy to grow, get your name out there, get your content out there.
So this is slightly dramatic, I apologize. But last time I was at BSides about 2 years ago presenting, I had just found out 2 days prior I had cancer. It was kind of a very tough time for me. And during chemo, TikTok actually was one of the things that made me really happy. It's very easy to use, there's silly videos. And so coming out of that whole cancer experience, I'm all better now, but coming out of that, I was like, I'm gonna make some videos on TikTok. I'm gonna give back a little bit to the thing that I enjoyed so much. And I didn't start with security content, I just started with stupid nerd stuff. But I slowly gravitated to security content, and I saw that there was a really big appetite, especially from like college and high school students, to learn how to get into this field. And so that I found that really fun to do and a really interesting way to give back.
Thank you. Serena, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so very similar. Well, not quite as similar to Kyle, but downloading TikTok over the pandemic. And at the time, there really wasn't a lot of tech creators in general. And definitely not a lot of cybersecurity or networking. So you had a lot of like developers, I think, at the time, but anything else was kind of lacking. And so some people, you know, when we started posting, a lot of us started posting around the same time, and we're very baby and, you know, had some videos go pretty viral. And that was great because it kind of was like, oh, like there's an interest for this here. And it kind of pushes you to think a little bit more creatively and see what you can really do in 60 seconds. But overall, my favorite part of it has been like the community. And that's why I continue to do it, is because I've just met so many great people along the way and have made great friendships and connections. And I think it was a great opportunity.
Thank you, Serena. So as many don't know, it's kind of a grind to make content on TikTok all the time. It has to be pretty consistent, and I can't imagine how hard it is to make consistent security content all the time. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on being security professionals and having this TikTok gig going. How does that go for you guys? How do you keep up with the content grind? Andrew, would love to hear from you.
I definitely post less now than I did before. But yeah, I think, you know, for me, I am a big fan of creating things. I do a lot of circuit board projects and other kind of like nerdy projects. So I think just for me, I like creating, and whether that's a video or a project, I get a thrill out of that. So making a video showing off my projects is just kind of rewarding because I get to document it, I get to share it. But yeah, I think I definitely put probably way too much effort into creating my videos than maybe I should, because I don't think it's necessarily required on TikTok to you know, put a lot of effort into things. You can just kind of record in the app and upload it, but I usually edit it off the app first. But yeah, it's just I like creating things, so I keep doing it.
I think I'm very different from you, Andrew, in that I try to create my content as quickly as humanly possible. Like the least amount of effort I can put into it, the better, which works for my really busy schedule. And I think early on, I was like 1 a day or 2 a day. I had to do it. And then at some point, I just was like, you have to give yourself a break. It can be really stressful to set these artificial limits yourself. So now I just do it when I want to and when it makes me happy. And I'm a lot happier making the content now than I was before when I had that schedule.
Yeah, I would say the same as Kyle. I try and do it as quickly as I can. But I think for a lot of creators in the beginning, there is a a ton of incentive and it's very exciting and you come up with all your ideas and then your ideas become like more and more sparse this has been, at least my experience, has become more and more sparse as you put everything out because you're pushing out stuff so quickly. And so, for YouTube, if you think of YouTube, a creator might have maybe 1-2 videos a week that they put a good amount of effort in, but that's really only 2 ideas. For TikTok, they want you posting very consistently, daily or multiple times a day. So I've had to completely revamp the way that I have approached creating content. And it's worked out for me really well, just coming up with ideas and kind of planning things out a little bit better. But yeah, it's a grind for sure.
Thank you. On top of keeping it creative, keeping it consistent, you have to keep it engaging. So with security awareness, it can be hard to keep it engaging, especially for a younger audience. 33% of TikTok, I believe, is under 19, if that's correct. So how do you keep it engaging for such a young audience?
Well, I think if you make an entertaining video, it's going to appeal to anyone. Well, maybe not anyone, but I think you'll find, depending on your content, you'll find people of all demographics. TikTok doesn't provide analytics on age, so I don't know how many of my followers or viewers are in the young category. But I think you just make it entertaining. Maybe stuff relatable. I don't know how close security can get that to them, but early on in my TikTok career, if you want to call it that, I was doing a lot of security tag videos, like the one that you saw at the beginning. That was actually just my first one. So a stitch in TikTok is where you take someone's video and you add your sort of response to it. So that was a stitch to that girl asking, what's something that feels illegal to know? And I was like, oh, I know a lot of things that feel illegal to know after watching a lot of DEF CON talks. And so I did that. And then just the response was overwhelming. So many comments talking about, I think the top comment on that was, Walmart ain't ready for me tomorrow. And so I was like, oh yeah, I like security tags. I like the physics behind it. So let me just kind of dive into it more. And we'll talk about later why I stopped posting that kind of content. But I think you just make it engaging. You want people to comment, you want people to share. So yeah.
This is actually where TikTok has influenced my professional life the most. So the video I shared was like really quick, where I talked about the New York Times. And that video went mega viral, like 26 million views. Is probably the thing I've done that'll be seen the most in my entire life. But there were some weird side effects of going that viral. And one of them was my mom saw that video and didn't know it was me until later when my sister shared it with her and was like, wait, that's my son? But so then we had a conversation. She called me about it, and we had the most lucid conversation about what I do as a professional that I've ever had with her. She was like, so your job is making things in the browser do things they're not supposed to? And I was like, yes! Oh my God, you get it! And so now when I do things on TikTok or when I do things for security education at work, I'm trying to make them as simple as possible, because the fact that my mom, who knows very little about the internet, very little about hackers, was able to connect that dot, to me was like revolutionary. And that changed my thinking about content, especially security content going forward after that.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again? I just want to make sure I answer the correct one.
No worries. It's how to keep your content engaging, especially since it's surrounding security awareness for your audience.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are more interested in cybersecurity than you think. I think that the way that corporate does cybersecurity is ineffective and boring. And if you think of like a lot of content that younger people watch, or you would assume younger people watch, which is true, but it also appeals to a much broader age range, like how YouTube videos are set up and things like that. Just keeping it interesting and teaching them something and letting them know like the how behind something. So if you think of like a corporate phishing email, it's like, okay, this is boring, like don't click a link. But if you talk about like what's happening on the back end, that's way more interesting, because they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like you're learning something aside from like, don't click a sketchy looking link, you know? So, and the other thing that I do is I just experiment a lot. So I try and create a bunch of different type of content to see kind of what does really well, what responds, what doesn't, and then, you know, navigate and adjust my videos from there. But you'd always be surprised. A lot of times, highly produced videos might not do well, but a video that I say something really dumb in 15 seconds does really well. So it's it's hard to tell, honestly.
Thank you. So on top of keeping it engaging, creative, you're posting for a community. And I wanted to know, what about having that audience on TikTok versus YouTube, Twitter, Instagram? What drew all of you to that platform when there were so many choices out there to build a community, which you all three have quite?
I think TikTok, so TikTok's competitors right now are Instagram Reels, which came after TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, which came after TikTok. TikTok came from Musical.ly. I think Vine was probably like the first short form video platform, but I think just having like a short form video platform is appealing to a lot of people, especially to the younger generation, just because you don't have to sit there for 10 minutes, even though I'll sit there for an hour and scroll through TikToks, but you don't have to. If you just want to watch one or two videos, you have that choice. So I think that was TikTok's success. They were kind of like the first ones, although like Vine was like 6 seconds, so a little longer. I think you need to engage people, and their algorithm in terms of like recommending videos to you is so good. You know, after you have to like, once you sign up, you just have to like feed it a little bit, and then it'll just like start pushing you videos that you never knew you wanted to watch. And I think that's partly how we're able to get to our audience, is because TikTok has so much data on what you interact with. You know, I follow Kyle, so like sometimes a video will be recommended to me and I'll see that he commented on it. Yeah, I think their algorithm is just really good, and they're also really good at just finding your audience for you.
I think the social aspect of the video creation is really fun too, where like Andrew makes a prompt, I respond to it, and then people ask questions, and he can answer questions, I can answer questions, and you can, just from like one moment in time, you can create kind of hundreds of videos around a bunch of different creators, and it kind of draws people in where they're like, oh, you can go down a rabbit hole in TikTok very quickly. You're like, I like this thing. Let's watch more. And suddenly you realize, oh, I want to go into cybersecurity. I didn't know that, but this is amazing. And so I hear that feedback a lot from people who found not just my videos, but sort of the community's videos on the topic, and they're like suddenly very invested in pursuing that as a career path, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. I just started using TikTok like I used other platforms. So, I had used Instagram, I had used Twitter, I had used Facebook, right? And so I just started using TikTok like the way that I would have used those platforms, but in that medium, if that makes sense. So obviously being like in your mid-20s, you're very online, very social media. And so, at the time I only had 50 followers on Twitter, and I had, a couple thousand on Instagram. And then I started making TikToks, and I didn't really expect the response that I received. But sometimes you just find something that you're good at, or that resonates with a lot of people, and you just keep pursuing it because it's like, oh, this is, I'm doing something right. This is working, and it's great, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And so I kind of more just like stumbled upon it. I didn't start TikTok as a creator. I started as more of just like an average user, and then became a creator, if that makes sense.
I just want to add something real quick. TikTok definitely has like a culture. So when I was talking about those other platforms, I don't know how much of a culture there is on those platforms, but as Kyle was talking about, there's like trends. So like, there might be they call them sounds, but it's really like the song that's on a video might be like going viral for some weird reason, but you can go down the rabbit hole and seeing everyone do the trends. So there's definitely a culture on TikTok that I love.
Thank you guys for your answers. So you guys have all built up a community on TikTok, and as you mentioned before, you're often showing vulnerabilities that they can exploit to hundreds of thousands of followers. How do you guys go about showing those vulnerabilities and handling showing that to so many people?
It's hard. So I think we're going to get into some of the moderation stuff later, but I did probably months, maybe 6 months or so of like showing different security tags and how to exploit them and that sort of thing. TikTok doesn't really want you to do that. They don't really want you to show how to exploit something, even though I would have like a disclaimer on my videos saying, you know, educational purposes only. Those only worked so far, but some videos were removed. Again, I kind of thought about it as like lockpicking. Like lockpicking isn't illegal. It's only illegal if you're picking someone else's lock. So if I show you how to open a security tag, like don't use that for like malicious purposes. But like if you're interested, like me, I like to know how things work. I like to reverse engineer. I like to find exploits, that sort of thing. That's all good. Don't do it. You don't take money out of someone else's hand, and you know, don't harm a business. But you know, I think just because TikTok has billions of users or whatever, it's like they just are trying to play it on the safe side, and they don't want you to do that kind of thing. So it's been hard. I think you can talk about vulnerabilities without showing how to do it, but I like to show how to do it. So like I said, I got a lot of videos removed.
I think I learned.
I've been having a real struggle with this. I mean, I'm sure if you follow me on TikTok or Twitter, you know that I've had a struggle with TikTok and removing my videos. Like most recently, they removed a video, and it's not even just when it comes to vulnerabilities. Like they removed a video that I created on Nmap, which is, you know, it's just Nmap. It's a IP scanning and you know. Anyway, so I did a video on Nmap, and then that was removed. And then there was another video that I did on password spraying where I just talked about what password spraying was and like a little fact or a little tip that you could do to help detect if there's password spraying in your environment. And that one got removed. And so it's really frustrating because my idea is like, I would like to get to people who are interested in these things, and I'd like to get into them early before they seek out this type of advice from, you know, more of a negative area on the internet, and get them into a path that can provide them a great job with great money, and just by following their interests, but in a positive community, right? And so it's definitely very frustrating. I don't show any active exploits. I mean, to be completely honest, and I'm sure a lot of people would understand that showing an exploit fully in 60 seconds would be almost impossible, depending if you're instead of you're just like, oh, I'm going to get this thing off GitHub and then download it and then exploit it that way. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on before making the video that I make that you don't see. So the full picture really isn't there, but you'll walk away with an understanding of how it works, if that makes sense.
That does. Thank you, Serena. And you were talking about those positive outcomes of having such a large community and interacting with them. I imagine almost daily, weekly. Do you guys have any stories of positive outcomes of having that community, success stories, people getting into security, stuff like that?
I kind of stumbled my way into content about job descriptions because people had been asking me about how to find entry-level jobs. And I went to look for entry-level jobs and couldn't really find good ones. And it was an education for me. So I started doing a series breaking down really bad entry-level jobs and giving people the signals of like, this is not entry-level, ignore this kind of job. And I got a lot of really great positive feedback from people that it helped refine their search. And so I get really happy when I get LinkedIn messages as like, hey, I found the job. I got my first cybersecurity job. That's like a little victory moment for me, and they always make me happy. And I've had enough of them that like, that's what keeps me going, making the TikTok content.
Obviously, I got to know Kyle through TikTok. It was really awesome seeing his video go viral and then removed. How long was it down for?
6 days.
It was down for 6 days. I think that during that time, it was probably New York Times like scrambling to fix their vulnerability. I don't even know if it would be a vulnerability, but yeah. Do you remember how long it took them to fix that?
It was like 2 weeks actually.
Yeah.
To fix it.
So you used to be able to use that trick to read an article, but not anymore, thanks to Kyle. So it was awesome. He had so many shares on that video.
The paywall technology got so much better after that video went viral.
Yeah.
Like they used to be so full of holes, and now it kind of pisses me off because I'm on my iPad and I can't do everything I used to do. But it actually did cause a lot of these platforms to improve their paywall technology, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think part of my favorite thing about TikTok is like just seeing like that "Tell Me You're a Hacker" video got a lot of like people like Kyle like stitching it and kind of giving their response. So I've become like internet friends with a bunch of people through that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done giveaways and things. I've partnered with other creators to give away classes on Wireshark and CCNA. I partnered with the Duckbill group to give away 10 CCNA vouchers for people who are interested in taking the exam, and then partnered with David Bombal to provide them with all of the courses that they would need to help pass that exam. So truly, like, I really just keep trying to funnel people in as much as I can, depending, and it doesn't really matter where they are in their journey into tech. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, I definitely get a lot of DMs, especially from women, which is fantastic. Just saying that, hey, like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into tech because you hear so many negative things, but you know, watching your content has helped me. And that is obviously my favorite too, because I'm just like, yeah, like, welcome, please come.
I love that. Thank you, Serena. As you mentioned, you get a lot of messages from women trying to get into the field. Something we know about TikTok, it is not without controversy, especially for women. And we've talked about the moderation. It's an uphill battle for you guys. So I was wondering, as content creators, how can we discuss the struggles you guys have faced individually with the platform and being content creators and getting stuff taken down because you're showing vulnerabilities or whatever it may be?
So I think there's a couple thoughts here. One, I think, you know, a lot of the stuff that I used to post, I think is in the gray area of stuff that of things that TikTok wants or doesn't want on the platform. So I've kind of moved on from showing those things, and I'm okay with that. I think my biggest wish is for them to improve their moderation. I think they've got a good set of community guidelines, and I think all their intentions are good. But I think, you know, anything at scale is a problem, and trying to moderate millions of videos uploaded. I read the transparency report this morning. I think in the last quarter, there was something like 90 million videos that got taken down, and I think half of them were by automated means. So, and I remember a transparency report last year that said, I think it was 5% of those taken down were false positives. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's how many videos that are like being taken down that shouldn't have been. And as a creator, you know, you might put a lot of time and effort into your content, and when it gets taken down, it kind of just like hurts a little bit, especially if it's like something that is innocent. So I think there's some room to grow for the moderation to, I don't know if it'd be involving more humans. One of the other thought I had is, you know, some of it's automated, some of it's being reported by users, and I think there's a lot of content being taken off the platform that should not be on there whatsoever. But then you have people that just kind of get targeted for whatever reason, and you know, you can just report anyone's video. So I don't know what they have in place to fight mass reporting or anything like that, but I'm hoping that they get better at you know, trolls from reporting.
Yeah, there's definitely people who have alluded to potentially my videos getting mass reported and taken down, and that is a possibility for sure. And I can't really say that if that's true or not. I don't know. But I do see this problem with other content creators in the cybersecurity space who are not me. So obviously, hopefully they would have some type of system in place that mass reporting, you know, wouldn't cause so much disturbance in my videos. I don't know. But it seems to me like a lot of things that to get taken down are things that show terminal or command line in my videos, which is super interesting. So I'm going to be experimenting with that for the next few weeks, because it just seems that's like some videos when I'm just explaining something's fine, but the second I bring up like a terminal, it becomes an issue and it gets taken down. So that's just something interesting that I have kind of found myself. But, you know, a lot of my videos, I don't think they're in a gray area. I think that they should be out there. I'm not showing things that people shouldn't know. I think it helps people to know those things to better their cybersecurity practices, even as just an individual, a non-tech person, just to understand some of these concepts and how these things work. Their moderation is very frustrating. And the human component can be interesting because when you talk about hacking or hackers, it obviously comes with a very negative connotation for a lot of people. And it doesn't need to be negative, right? Because there's a lot of pen testers or white hat or whatever, people that are doing hacking for a positive way to earn money legally and things like that. So you could get a moderator who just is like, hacking's bad. No, and they're not really digesting the video per se or understanding the implications. So that can be kind of an interesting thing to deal with, even with a human moderator, is just the idea of hacking and maybe their bias or preconceived idea of hacking.
I think I get frustrated with kind of a different thing, which is I spend a non-zero amount of time self-moderating the comments of my videos because there is a huge part of our community that is just gatekeeping, and that I get really frustrated with that because I make a video, try to make it really simple, entry level for people who might be interested in the field, and then in the comments people start talking down to other people who are interested in this kind of simple content. And I hate that because we have such a pipeline problem in cybersecurity of getting people into the field. You know, there's so many unfilled jobs, and if we have people at the front lines kind of gatekeeping and turning people off of the field, I find that really problematic. So it doesn't violate TikTok's guidelines, but it kind of violates my personal guidelines. So I have to do a lot of comment deletion and blocking to kind of try and maintain the positivity and, help people not get discouraged.
Yeah, and one note on top of that, Kyle, I think compared to YouTube, like for whatever reason, TikTok, you just get a ton of comments. Like if you look at a similar view on YouTube to TikTok, TikTok just has so many comments, and before the last maybe 6 months or year, there was pretty much like no moderation for comments on TikTok, and now they've gotten like slightly better, but the comment section could probably have its own talk on its own because it's so chaotic sometimes.
Thank you guys. So you guys are all security professionals. It's not without its challenges, and you have to churn out content all the time, keep it engaging. Why do you continue to do this? What's the upside, especially as you guys are all established professionals in this field?
Like I said before earlier, I just like creating things, and my day job has nothing to do with what I post on TikTok. So I always have another project kind of going on, so I always have something to post about.
I think I enjoy kind of the ancillary opportunities that it opens up. Like I met you because of my TikTok posting. NIST reached out to me, which I thought was really fun to say, we really enjoy your content. We can't say publicly we enjoy your content because you use TikTok, and that's a problem for us, but keep going, and here's some resources we might want you to talk about maybe. And so like stuff like that is really interesting to me, where it's like TikTok is really good at building a big audience that a lot of the other platforms struggle to reach, like really young people. And so I think TikTok is really unique. And so that's why I kind of just focus on, like, I have no real interest in YouTube or other platforms. I just enjoy TikTok. It's really fun.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the interactions that I have with people for the most part. I mean, obviously there are some negative, but overall, the people that I meet through doing it, and I get to learn a lot while doing it myself. Overall, I think there's just so much more benefit for me to do it, and I enjoy it. So luckily, it works out well when you love doing the thing that brings you a lot of other benefits.
Thank you, Serena. So for people who might be in the audience looking to do the same, make videos on security content, what is your guys' advice for getting started and navigating all of the things you guys have discussed today?
Who is on TikTok? Raise your hand. Oh, cool. Yeah, I wish there were more hands up. But yeah, I think, there's people who are just on the platform to watch, and that's perfectly fine. But my advice is, if you think you have something interesting to say or show, go ahead and make a video. I totally understand with this crowd if you don't want to put something else on the internet. I totally get that. But if you have a fun hobby, I watched a video the other day. It was someone scraping beeswax off of, I don't know what you call that, but honeycomb, just scraping the wax off of it. And I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. And I watched the whole thing. And then it was a viral video, for understandable reasons. It just looked really awesome. So I think TikTok is also a good platform because there's just so much exposure to the things that you never get to see in your life. There's a guy, I think he was from some South American country, but he was weaving blankets on a live, and it was just thousands of people in this live watching this guy weave blankets. And there's so much out there. So if you think you have anything interesting to show, post it. And even if you don't think it's interesting, someone else might. So maybe it's something routine that you do. But I would also say if you're very passionate about what you're doing, I think that helps kind of deliver your message hey, I really find this interesting. Yeah.
I think also TikTok makes you a better communicator because the way the algorithm works with the platform, it's very honest about did people watch your video or not? How long did they stay interested? Did they comment? Did they share it with a friend? And so you start to realize the way you might be speaking and the way you might be communicating may not hold people's attention. And as you get better, you start to realize, oh, there's ways that I can be more interesting, more captivating, tell a better story. And so that translates directly into my day job. And there's a bunch of accounts I follow on TikTok that have nothing to do with what I'm interested in. They're 22-year-olds who are in college, but I think their presentation style is so much better than mine that I watch everything they do because I'm learning a ton from how they communicate to the world. And I just love that.
Yeah, I agree. Both those are great points. There's people that follow me. There's one person who is a pilot for a major airline, and he follows my content. I follow his content, and I've never flown a plane, but it's just interesting to learn about some of the aviation stuff and the way that he presents it. I'm like, wow, this is cool. So definitely love to see other people's style in presenting really interesting things. I mean, there are accounts on TikTok that'll have I think I came across a cleaning account, and all this account does house cleaning, and they have 5 million followers because some people are just learning cleaning tips for your home, or just it's satisfying watching something that's super messy be really clean and see the potential in a space. So whatever you're passionate about in your hobby, just post it. There's another cybersecurity creator, his name's Crypto the Llama, and he got, I think, almost 400,000 followers, and he never showed his face in a video. So that's another way too, if you're not interested being, front and center in front of a camera. I get that. There's been times where I've stopped posting for a while just because I just didn't want to be on camera. There's ways around that too. So it's really up to you, and, just keep posting if you're interested in it, and whatever you decide, really.
Crypto does have his picture with his profile picture, which is funny though, because he never shows his face except his profile picture.
Yeah.
I would also just say it's really, really easy to get started with TikTok content. I've never used anything else except my phone. I use the editor in the app. I use my phone to take all the videos. I don't invest a lot of energy into it, and I've been very successful. And it's you can get started for no money at all.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you, guys. So we're about to wrap up. I just wanted to open up to Q&A, discussing everything we've talked to our creators about today, the controversy, the community, the creativity, if anyone has any questions.
And we sent a link on Twitter with that slide DO thing. Do you know if we have anyone moderating that? Because I hope so.
Hi, I'm Jackie. So I've been tracking advanced nation-state actors for the past 10 years. And so it just really makes me wonder what you're thinking about when you use a platform that is in part owned by the Chinese government. As security professionals. Sorry, it's the elephant in the room.
I mean, the Americans should make a better platform. The platform's awesome, right? It's great.
So I did a final paper for my master's program on TikTok and kind of the controversy around the Chinese government and it owning TikTok as a platform. And honestly, a lot of it was a political campaign. There was a lot of money spent on anti-TikTok rhetoric and campaigns and ads and content. I mean, we're talking like hundreds and thousands of dollars spent from political campaigns on anti-TikTok ads. I think this started happening coincidentally around when TikTok took Uber's place as the #1 startup. And I think, if you look at TikTok itself, they have done so much, and I am so critical of them. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm very critical of them. But I do want to, correct information or misconceptions because they're so transparent now. I mean, TikTok is not available as an application in China. None of TikTok's servers are in China. All of them are based in the US or Singapore. And there's a headquarters in the US. They have their source code available for you to check out yourself if you're interested. They publish their transparency reports. I personally, as a cybersecurity person, and if we're talking about risk, I'm less concerned with TikTok and more concerned with our power plants, if we're really gonna get into the conversation of security and nation state actors. But that's just me. I've done a decent amount of research on it, mainly because I had the same question and kind of came up with all right, this seems like there's some other motivations happening here with just people disliking China and the government of China and not being very happy that they had a successful startup in America, basically.
Got a question over here?
Yeah, it sounds like you have some understanding of who watches your videos through kind of anecdotal experiences, comments, stuff like that. People say, hey, it helped me out. But I'm wondering, does TikTok, like Twitter or YouTube, have any kind of analytical tools that help you understand who's watching your videos, who the audience is? Even, like maybe you post a video and people drop out in the first 4 seconds, that kind of thing. Like how deep into the weeds can you get with demographics and how people watch your content and consume it?
They're definitely getting better. There's a new release. I don't have it yet, but it's kind of got the YouTube analytics where you can see drop off when that happens. So they just started pushing that out. Do you know if you have that yet? I can see male versus female, percentage wise. Mine's about 70-30, 70% male, 30 female, which is interesting because when you sign up for TikTok, you never put your gender in there. So how are they assigning your gender? That's very interesting to know. We don't know age, although if you do have a TikTok business account or you sign up for ads or something, you can see that information because you're trying to target certain ages. You get to see your country or where your people are from. I'm only about 60% US, which is very weird. But some videos kind of get pushed out to other countries. That's kind of the basic information. You can see average watch time, the percentage of people who watch the full video, but they are getting better at their analytics.
Great. Other questions from the group here? Any more? Okay. Well, closing, guys, back to you.
Question for you. You write a lot about TikTok. I've noticed that. What got you interested in TikTok? Because you're not a content creator, but you tend to write about it.
Wow, I didn't expect a question for myself. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in technology. I majored in information systems, and I became a journalist after college because I liked writing more about technology than creating technology. TikTok is a formidable platform. I used to not take it seriously, and I was in college not that long ago. It was, a platform for people my age. I did not take it seriously. I thought it's for people who are even younger than me. But once I got into it, my mentor actually, she was like, you need to start making TikToks now. And I was like, I'm never going to do that. But she was right. People were blowing up, as you guys all did, not really expecting to. It's a very formidable platform, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I think it's only going to get stronger. And not only that, the people I've written about on TikTok and why I met Kyle was because my editor TikToks. It was like, wow, look at this, look at what they're creating, and look at everyone's responses. So I thought that was interesting, these people who are blowing up on TikTok. And then the comments of people who are my age and younger, like, wow, I learned a lot from this. Can you tell me more? And people engaging with it. I think it's only going to get bigger from here. And I think we're going to see more creators who are, security professionals, maybe CEOs. That would be funny. I think it's just going to get bigger. So that's why I chose to write about TikTok and people like Kyle. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Oh, we see another question in the crowd.
Thank you. So with TikTok content, you have the inherent limit of like 10-minute videos right now, and you miss some of the context around like a blog where you can technically detail something for security, or a screen share from your PC where you can show kind of hacker tools or InfoSec tools. What are strategies you guys use to build the content but still be very technical?
I think the limitations are actually a strength, and I've never created a video over a minute, and I never will. Like, I like the 1 minute limitation. And so some of my more technical videos, I'll take a bug bounty report from like, a transparent HackerOne report, and I'll break that down for people. Like, here's how the attacks work, here's how they found the bug, here's what it means. And you can actually, with crisp editing, you can explain a lot of technical details in a minute. I think it's actually a really good exercise to see how you can be more simple.
I just want to add that one thing to remember about TikTok is usually people aren't searching for content on TikTok. You're not, you might go to YouTube and you're like, how to use Nmap, right? But you're not doing that on TikTok. So you also kind of have to like come up from a point of view where the people aren't really searching for this content. They're just getting it delivered to them. So I think depending on the content, maybe there's some content that doesn't belong on TikTok. Like if it's a tutorial, it might not have the biggest reach where it would like on YouTube, where people are searching for that sort of thing. And then I also just kind of think that, I think there's a time limit for just on what type of video you want to make. Like one of the recent projects I did was hacking Harry Potter wands. And someone wanted to get a tutorial on how I did one of them, and I was like, oh man, I don't think that's going to do very well, but it's like a 4-minute video, and it's doing pretty good. So I think if you kind of structure it right, and if it's appropriate for TikTok, you don't have to like worry about is this what something's searching for, then it'll be okay.
Cool, thank you.
All right. Oh, we got a question. I really love this active audience here. This is good stuff.
Hi, I have a question around being a security kind of informer, educator versus an influencer. It sounds like the three of you create a lot of educational content, which is amazing. We need more people in the security space. Do you foresee yourself trying to become like more of an influencer, trying to influence security trends, trying to influence better security posture, using kind of your platform in that direction? Is that something you've considered, or see anyone trying to go in that direction?
I get contacted occasionally for sponsored content, and I tend to just ignore it all. Like, I have a job that I really enjoy, and that's where I make my money. So I don't do TikTok to make money or to be an influencer, and I kind of don't intend to. And I'm happy with that because I think it lets me keep my content really clean. Like, I decide what I talk about and don't have to take edits from anybody else.
Yeah, I do take sponsorships, so I'm a little bit different, but I'm very, very picky on the sponsorships that I take. So I've worked with like ESET and NVIDIA, AWS, all companies that I am familiar with and have used and can attest to just as a person, because again, we are all professionals too. So I don't want to put my name on something that would discredit me or make me look bad. I'm not using TikTok to make money, but it definitely is somebody who also had recently graduated college and has some student loan debt. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take definitely a few sponsorships to help with that. And also kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it motivates me to make content, but it's like, okay, you know, like if anything goes wrong, if I lose my job, it is another way that I could potentially at least pay some bills if needed. Luckily, it hasn't come to that, but has helped me pay down my student loans. So I'm very grateful for that. As far as being an influencer, I'm not entirely sure, like, ultimately, I think that word just means different things for different people. Like when I do sign contracts, sponsorship contracts, they are influencer contracts a lot of the time. It'll say that or something like similar to that. I'm here to make like educational videos and talk about security stuff. My idea of influencing is just influencing people into the field. So that's hopefully what I'm doing.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are out of time. Thank you very much. Audience, y'all have been tremendous as well. Tremendous amount of talent. Yeah, please give them a hand. Thank you. Right.